Hello and welcome to my koi pond. Here we have my 3,000 gallon koi pond. If you've watched any of the other videos then you might have seen it if you'd seen the garden tour, but if not, if it's your first time here then welcome. And this video is really just a little introduction of my pond. So I've got a 3,000 gallon koi pond here. Dug this in 2013. This had some upgrades over the years. I think 2020 I cut the window in, but this is a genuinely budget pond. Back in 2013 I was in my early 20s and I was in this house that I'm in now 2 weeks. I'd been given the opportunity to have a filter and a collection of fish, so it was like I got to get something built quick. The filter in question was a Nikos 210, which I still have. Especially back in 2013, that would have been way out of my price league, especially just getting a house. So I just thought a bit of hard work and get a pond done, which we did. So it's 10 foot by 10 foot by 5 foot deep. It is pump fed. I didn't at the time. I didn't even have the knowledge back then to put a bottom drain in. It's definitely in the future for the pond. So for perspective, this pond it's made out of 4x4 oak posts. Basically built a 2 foot ladder frame, 10 foot. So I built 4 ladder frames, bolted them all together, strapped them all together. I cladded the front originally and I lined the inside with marine ply. I say that was only 2 foot, which is this site here, and then I went 3 foot down. And yeah, so this is the pond now. It's currently run on a Nikos 210 and an easy pod, a 55 watt UV. I have fairly hard water here, consistent pH of around 8. It does fluctuate throughout the day, but in general, I mean, these days I probably test once a month, maybe should test more, but it's always within that range, the pH. I'm probably overstocked to have about 25-26 fish in here, and I noticed I had a fish hanging in the corner and a couple of fish flashing recently. So before I took any out to scrape, I thought I'd do a water test. Ammonia come back great, and I had 0.02 nitrite. Bear in mind I've got 2 filters running this. So I dropped the feeding down. Currently feeding Nutrimare 360, which is a brilliant food. They really like it, by the way. And I had some tosa in there that put some considerable size on this year. But so I lowered the feeds. I mean, it's unheated, but the pond is sitting at about 23 degrees. It does sit in the sun all day, and as you know, we've had a bit of a heat wave for the last few weeks in the UK, which has kept a decent, consistent high temperature in the pond. So they've been hungry. So I've been feeding them, but anyway, it's not been able to keep up with the feed. So I've reduced the feed, and I tested the water this week, and it's 0.01. Now I'm feeding one of these about 3 times a day, sometimes only 2 times a day. Which is telling me if I've still got nitrites and I've reduced my feed, I'm overstocked. Anyway, so with that in mind, I have got some old fish in here, which I'm sure everyone's got it in their pond, where once they're in there, they become a bit of a pet and they're a bit unsightly. So I've made the decision, I'm going to move on about 10 fish. Give some of these little ones a chance to grow on, which are a bit better quality. I wouldn't mind improving the quality of the collection. So there's about 10 fish that I've organised to move on, and that should be happening in the next couple of weeks. Not ideal really to move fish on this time of year, but if I'm getting nitrites and I can't reduce them down, it's kind of out of my hands. I've got fish flashing, they're not enjoying themselves. Regular water changes. We've got pre-filters on the tap water to make sure that the water's going in that's good, and they're still flashing. So and I know it's the nitrite. that's causing that issue. As soon as the nitrite had dropped down to the 0.1, the fish that was hanging in the corner has now stopped hanging in the corner and started feeding again, and the flashing has reduced. But of an evening seems to be when the nitrites are obviously the highest, because that's at the time of day when the most food's been in. I noticed that's when the flashing starts to occur again, so trying to get that down. But anyway, yeah, the pond does well. It's just it's slightly low at the minute. I'm just topping up because we done a quick filter change this morning, so I'm cleaning them out about every 2 days, which doesn't bother me. I quite like that hands-on. I mean, don't get me wrong, the future for my pond would probably be fiberglass bottom drain drum filter. Having said that, I do like to tinker, and my fear with a drum filter is it's going to take away a lot of that tinkering that I do, but I'm sure I can figure something out. But anyway, so this is a pond. Let me pick you up and show you the fish. They're due a feed as well, so hopefully they'll come up for a bit of food. Right, let's try them with a bit of food. I mean, as you can see, the Nexus and the Easy Pod are doing a great job with the clarity. And we've got a few fish in here that are over the 70 centimetre mark. That Kajaku, about 77 centimetres. We've got these, all three of these are at about the 70 centimetre mark. And there's one Chagoi in here, which come from the original collection. This one here, which is, oh no, not that one, sorry. Well, they all look the same, these chags. Well, let's give him a bit of food, see if I can tempt him up. There's a Chagoi here that is over the 80 centimetre mark now, which is pretty cool, really. And I've got a couple of big mirror carp in here. I'll tell you a story about some of these. So, first of all, this big mirror here, I'm going to talk in carp fishing terms now, because I'm also a fisherman, for anyone that is a fisherman also. I've got a big mirror in here, which is probably close to, it's got to be 35 pound plus. That one there sticking its back out of the water. And she is a big old girl. We call her Frenchie. And you'll know why if you're a carp fisherman. Let's see if I can get a side on so you can get a feel for her size. Mind out of the way, Boos. So here's the big chag. This is the one, oh sorry, here she comes again. She's a big old girl. She's a big old girl. She's deep, and if we can get her, yeah, she's deep and wide. You can fit a tennis ball with her mouth. Absolute monster. She is very tame as well, probably the best hand feeder, hence her size. But she's not the only mirror we've got in here. So there is another mirror that's in here, and oh no, that's Frenchie again. I thought that was the other mirror. So the other mirror is called Paul. The other mirror called Paul is a female as well. And the story behind Paul, I caught Paul when I was 11 years old, when I went fishing with my dad. And I was fishing and bored, and I had a little net, and I scooped up a load of little fish. And I, Dad, can I take these fish home? They looked like little minnows at the time. And he had a little ornamental goldfish pond, and he said, yeah, sure, son, yeah, took them in a bucket, we'll bring them home. And I brought them home. Anyway, my dad eventually turned his ornamental pond into a koi pond because of that fish, because it grew into a mirror carp. At the time, probably about 4 or 5 pound. Anyway, about, I don't know, 6 years later, I'm now a labourer for my dad building, and we get a job building a pond, koi pond. When we finished the pond, my dad said to the client, would you like, I've got this mirror carp that I want to move on. Do you want to put it in as your first fish? It can seed your pond, you know, get the nitrogen cycle going. They're hardy as you like, being a king carp variety rather than a koi carp. do you want him? So the client said, yes please, absolutely. He took the mirror carp and said, I'm going to call it Paul, which is my dad's name. Now, I told you before that I had the opportunity to take a whole pond on, the collection and all the filtration. Well, that client, a further 5 years later, called me up and said, I'm unwell, I can't keep the pond anymore, it's too much. I want to know that it's all going to a good home and you're local and I can still see the fish. Would you be interested if I gave you the filtration, the koi, everything? You can have it all for free. Would you have it? I know you've just moved into your house. Are you planning on building a pond? I said, well, I am now. So hence why the budget build happened. I was 21 or 22 at the time. And I'd only been in this house 2 weeks. And Paul come back to me. Paul went full circle. So Paul is now 24 years old. That's Paul, that one there. And also about £25, I would have thought. Nice big fish. We've got Frenchie, that's the more, we call her Frenchie because she's that sort of traditional. Again, if you're a carp fisherman, you know what I'm talking about here, like a French carp. When you go angling abroad, it's like a French carp. And Paul's more of like a British king carp, a little bit longer, less gutty. But yeah, so Paul's back with me and has been for the last 13 years now. The same fish I caught in a net when I was 11 and I'm 35 now, so cool story that. But yeah, so I mean, the pond doesn't look overly like overstocked in comparison to like what you'd see in a fish shop, but the fact that I'm experiencing nitrites that I can't get down is telling me that it's overstocked. And I have got some nice tosi in here now, which they're growing well. They're all over 30 centimetres. So there's a little tancho shower there that's not, but it'd be nice to give them a bit more space to grow on a bit. Get rid of some of these, because I do have a lot of bland coloured fish in here as well. Look, I know they're tame and they are cool coming up like that, but like again, I've got some little mirrors. I've got some little baby mirror carp in there as well. They're just taking up space and you don't really see them. They're almost a bit pointless. So yeah. There's Paulie. And we know Paul's a female because we've watched her be chased and they're spawning. But yeah, it'd be nice to see some of these little ones grow on. Give them a bit of extra space. That's the outlet there to the Easy Pod. That's just a decorative blade on its own pump. And that's the outlet there to the Nexus. But yeah, say the Nexus 210. The original. I've had it 13 years and I think the client had it before me for 5 years. So it's an old filter with the original K1 that's in it. And it's still chumping along. And I've got water clarity. That fish, that yellow butterfly fish, is sat on the bottom, grazing on the bottom, and that's 5 foot. So it ain't doing too bad really. Greedy little piglets. And that's the pond. So thank you for watching. If you like this sort of content, give me a follow or a subscribe. This is the sort of stuff I pop out. It's not just the pond, I've got chickens and I do my growing at home, the garden and the allotment. But I will be putting out some more pond content. I will do filtration, and like I said to you, there is a future for this pond. I would like to upgrade at some point, so that is on the cards. I probably won't upgrade in size wise, but quality quality of the pond, fiberglass, brick built, bottom drains, you know, something that's built to last. I mean, having said that, the oak posts haven't done bad. Yeah, how long ago was that now? 13 years ago. And I cut a bloody great big hole in them to put that window in 5 years ago, so I did have to put support in there, mind you, but yeah, it's not done bad really. So yeah, again, thank you for watching, and catch you on the next one.